On November 9th, the second annual Man Up South Jersey Men's Spirituality Conference will be held at Paul VI Conference Center in Haddon Township. This year's theme is Anchored in Christ, a reminder that as Catholic men, we are blessed to have Jesus in our lives, keeping us stable and secure, even in the midst of the storm around us. If you are traveling these rough waters, then register today at manupsouthjersey.com.
From the vault, high atop the pastoral center of the Diocese of Camden, you're listening to Talking Catholic.
Welcome once again, everybody, to Talking Catholic, the official podcast of the Catholic community of South Jersey. I'm Pete Sanchez with Mike Walsh. Michael, how are you?
I'm good. I'm tired. We have been down in Atlantic City all day long celebrating the Feast of the Assumption and the Wedding of the Sea ceremony off the... that's how tired I am. Off the beach in Atlantic City. And we are now we're all about 16 minutes away in beautiful downtown Absecon. We're surrounded by marshes and trees. But it's, we're here. It's real nice. I'm very excited about it. How are you feeling? Did you fill up on food at the Wedding of the Sea?
I did. My arm is a little sore. I don't know. We took some Facebook Live video of me doing the Johnny Toss, and I was 0 for 3. I could not get the toilet paper.
I was really surprised you chose to do that.
You know, it's live video. But I blame that I wasn't able to warm up. You give me 5 minutes to warm up, I would have had everyone in. Yeah. I would have been the Aaron Nola of the Johnny Toss today. People would have been clapping and cheering me. I would have been a hero, Mike. But alas, I'm the GOAT.
Yeah, so if our
I'm not the greatest of all time. But
if our podcast listeners are interested, they need to go check out the Facebook Live video on the Catholic Star Herald site, not the Talking Catholic Facebook page, but Catholic Star Herald, and look for the last video we put up, I think, with Betsy Fenwick. And you can see Pete's prowess at the Johnny Toss.
It wasn't even prowess, Mike.
If you're wondering if that's going to be a meme at some point, let me just assure you, it'll be emblazoned somewhere for
I'm going to have to threaten John Kalitz or Tom O'Shea.
I don't think that's going to going to work, but anyway.
That's the two people I think of the meme.
I guarantee you they'll do it. What do we got coming up?
Well, we got stuff, going from Atlantic City. Here we are going to Belmar, New Jersey, Sunday, September 15th for the nonagenarians and the centenarian mass. Nonagenarians, if you're 90 years up and beyond, and centenarians, 100 years and beyond, please join us for a special mass to celebrate life to the fullest. This will be held Annunciation Church, St. Joachim Parish, 601 West Browning Road, Belmar, New Jersey. And Sunday, September 15th at 3 p.m. This Mass is to recognize, honor, and celebrate those who have reached the milestone of life of 90 years and above. So congratulations and come on out. A light reception and fellowship will follow. So please RSVP by September 6th to Anne-Marie Perillo at 856-583-6121. So this is sponsored by Vitality Catholic Healthcare Services. And Mike, we have a few people, incidentally, that we're talking to that have been to the border.
Yeah.
To share the journey. Yeah,
the border. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast. We've done a bunch of special interviews, as a matter of fact. But it's nice to have a couple people in the room that can talk about it a little bit. For anyone who hasn't listened to this podcast before, Catholic Charities for the Diocese of Camden for the past over a year now has been sending pilgrims to the Texas-Mexico border to really get a first-hand accounting for what life at the border is really like with the immigration situation there. This is something that Catholic Charities created as part of the Share the Journey campaign, which was opened by Pope Francis just shy of 2 years ago. Encouraging Catholics to understand and embrace immigrants and migrants, and that is certainly an issue that over the last 2 years has become certainly sharper in the United States. So Mr. Kevin Hickey, who has been on the podcast several times, came up with this idea of sending pilgrims to the borders, really as a fact-finding expedition for them, so that they were learning about what was going on at the border by being at the border, as opposed to just seeing what was on cable news and things like that. And we actually have 2 border pilgrims with us, one on the steering committee and one who's gone as a pilgrim herself, Greg Coogan.
Yes.
What did you think?
It's absolutely transformative in the sense of certainly putting flesh and bone to a real life issue, because you hear a lot about migration or immigration on media, but until you meet people face to face and see the struggles that they endure to seek freedom and hope for success for their families, the amount of struggle that they go through to get here, coming through Mexico and part of...
We are recording in a kind of an open area, so who knows what sounds will pop up.
I hope you can edit that one.
I'm leaving it in. Forget it. We don't edit that.
Alicia, you can talk.
So, Alicia, what did you see in the border? Who left that door open?
The border was an amazing experience. It was definitely something I've been on twice, and I look forward to going again. It's completely transformed my life. It completely changed my view. A lot of things that you see is what the media shows, and what you see from newspapers and magazines and what family and friends tell you. But a lot of family and friends haven't been down to the border. So to be able to go down and see firsthand what exactly is happening and the experiences and life situations that these people have gone through and why they want to come to the United States, what brings them here, and seeing the look of hope, but also the worry that they are trying to leave behind in hopes of a better future for their family is very, very life-altering. Like for me, changed my whole career path. I don't even know what my first major was when I went down there, but I'm now social work with hopes to be an immigration lawyer. So it's definitely something.
Great, another attorney. All right, but that's attorney with in God's work.
Exactly.
Everyone knows my hatred of attorneys.
But the border, amazing, life-altering.
That's awesome. That's great, Alicia. So that's going on. If you want to learn more about how about going to the border, all you have to do is go to CatholicCharitiesCamden.org and type in /STJ-pilgrimages, or just go to Google and type in what you want to know. But I know that there is an October and a November pilgrimage going down with some space available. And what I know from Mr. Hickey is if there is going to be even though the Share the Journey campaign will be dialing down in November, if there's still interest in the diocese, they will make pilgrimages available for people to go down and learn more and get to meet immigrants who have crossed the border, and of course the fantastic Sister Norma Pimentel, who runs the Respite Center in McAllen, Texas. Just great people. And then our last thing coming up is another Catholic Charities thing. Catholic Charities Justice for All dinner, which will also have a Share the Journey theme, is on October 3rd. You can learn more about that at Camden, CatholicCharitiesCamden.org/JFA 2019. They'll be honoring Cardinal Louis Tagle, the Archbishop of the Philippines, or Archbishop of Manila of the Philippines, and several Disciples of Mercy, who are people who are doing great work in the diocese and around the diocese. From I think we'll have 5 individuals or groups from the 5 deaneries of South Jersey. I know who those people are now. If I could remember any of the names, I'd rattle them off. I could tell you that there are at least one former guest of the podcast is someone who is a Disciple of Mercy this year, but that'll be announced probably when you're listening to this podcast. we'll have it online. So anyway, Pete, what are we doing in Atlantic City?
Well,
or Absecon now?
Yeah, no, I know.
Atlantic City adjacent
of where we are. Yes, we are here to with once again the Summer of the City kids. Last year we did it in Atlantic City, but
I like
now
to think of them as young adults, not kids.
I'm sorry,
That's
kids.
I like to think of you as an old adult, and I like to think of them as young adults.
Well, I mean, you're also youthful and energetic, and I'm so happy to be here. We are here at the Kairos Retreat Center at Holy Spirit High School. And if we can go around the table and just say your name and where you're from.
Hey, it's Alicia again.
Hey guys again. Again, this is Alicia. I'm from Williamstown, so I go to Our Lady of Peace Parish.
Alicia Foreman, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, it's Mary Gardner. I'm from Haddon Heights, New Jersey, from Camden Catholic High School.
My name is Greg Coogan, and I am on the Summer in the City team and serve as the Director of Youth, Young Adult, and Campus Ministries.
Hi, I'm Juliana Campasso. I'm from Summers Point, and I go to St. Joseph's Parish in Summers Point.
Hi, I am Richard Price. I live in Galloway Township, and I go to the Our Lady of Perpetual Help Parish, and I recently just graduated from Absecon High School.
I'm Anthony Solari. I'm from Brigantine. I go to St. Thomas Parish in Brigantine, yeah.
Okay, hey, those are all answers. That's all we want to know from you guys. So this is the second time we've done a podcast from Summer in City. We were down here last year, and people were blown away by the interview. So, you have that to live up to. You got to be almost as good as those guys. So who here has been to Summer in the City? Don't raise your hands because this is an audio podcast. But just by voice, how many people have been here before? Alicia?
I have.
Okay.
Juliana, me.
I have.
Okay.
I have as well.
Okay, so 4. So Mary, you're the only newbie here, eh?
Yes, I am.
Okay. But prior to joining up for Summer in the City, had you heard a lot about it?
Actually, through my sister and through family members. I had a friend who did it, who went to my high school. And so when it came up in my church bulletin, my mom jumped on it pretty fast. And so here I am.
What was it you had heard about that made you want to join up?
I heard there was a lot of on-hand community service, like with the community, and a lot of outreach in Atlantic City. Even though, I'm only an hour away, I hadn't been to the community on hand that often. So I was like, this was a good opportunity, an excuse.
Cool. And how about everybody else? What makes you come back?
Overall, I just like doing all the volunteer work and helping out people who are less fortunate than I. And I just I've met some of my best friends here, so it's nice to come back and see them because I never see them when we're not here. Yeah.
That's good. That's a perfectly reasonable reason.
I also come back for the friends that you make during this experience, along with all of the encounters with children who are on summer camps in places like Salvation Army or with the homeless people. It can be so touching sometimes, just to see how different you are from everyone else that has No,
it's okay. Keep going. Right. This is a nice long podcast. We struggle for words all the time on this podcast. So being with the young people, it's kind of meeting up with people who have sort of gone down a different path than you have.
Yeah.
No, I can certainly understand that. How about you, Alicia? Come back again. He's not holding a mic right now, so I'm going to ask you because you're holding the mic.
So this is actually my 6th or 7th summer in the city.
Sheesh.
Coming since my junior year in high school, so I'm actually a young adult for 4 years now. What brought me back when I was still a participant was the loving to serve and the people that you'd meet and the places that you would go. Now I think it's kind of transformed as I've gotten older. And it's changed to seeing the willingness of the participants to serve, their love for Christ and their love to serve the community, and the willingness. you don't have too many places where you have over 40 teenagers that are fighting for places to go, try to serve, and are like so willing to go and serve in a soup kitchen or just hang out with the adults from the Ark. And it's just an amazing thing to see every year, and it brings me back.
Hey, Greg, how many people are here this year? You mentioned 40. How does that? Is it usually about 40 who you get?
There are 47 participants representing all 6 counties of southern New Jersey. Wow. Half of them are new and half are returnees. And the program's been in existence for over 25 years. It was started by a youth minister and Brother David Graber, who's a teacher at St. Augustine Prep, and Mr. Tom Salerno, who is a youth minister at Our Lady of Sorrows. They started in the late 90s, serving in Camden. It's built on 4 pillars, and the pillars are service, social justice, spirituality, and community. And our week sort of models that for our young people.
You're talking about the week, so we're recording this on Thursday. When did you arrive here in Absecon?
We started on Sunday afternoon. We started on Sunday afternoon with a dinner and a little orientation.
And I'm talking with you before this, Greg. You've already been through so many. I don't know if we talked about it last time, but there's a burning bush adoration. But even more recently, I think last night there was a. Can you speak a bit about the sleep out, or maybe some of you youth and young adults can share your experience?
Oh my!
Well, this is the second year I've had to sleep in a box outside, and I get the experience 100%. It's definitely like a good lesson. I just wish it was like warmer at night, I guess.
It is the summertime though, right?
Yeah, but it's so cold at night, like freezing, like shivering cold.
Do you think that gives you a better insight to what other?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Can you think of? I mean, now that you've gone through it 2 years in a row, joyously, as I can tell, did it give you a greater appreciation? Like, I mean,
it definitely does.
Like in the wintertime, do you think about? No, that's okay. You're allowed to not think about it. We're all.
But like even after like this morning, I got up and went right upstairs and went and laid in my bed and fell asleep for an hour, just like right after.
What did you do while it was going on? Aside from being miserable.
No, it actually wasn't as bad. Last year, I guess because it was my first year, it was just very like a different thing, so I wasn't used to it. This year wasn't too bad. Like I knew how to make my house this year.
It's important.
We got a thin blanket this year. Last year we had those like it was like space blankets. The space blankets, which every time you moved, like
hear it,
everything moved. Mm-hmm. So definitely it was a better experience than last year, but it still gave me like an insight as to how it is for the people who don't have.
Anybody else do the?
I did this this year and last year as well. I actually enjoyed the experience. It's just like I just like to experience a bunch of different things. Mm-hmm. And this definitely is a different experience. Last year,
can you walk me through, like, from when you get there? Like, tell me about the place, the location, and then tell me exactly what you did.
Last year, the location of the cardboard box city was in the front, close to the front entrance of Holy Spirit High School, and there it was a fun time for some people, at least. We got to choose cardboard boxes from a big pile, and we also got some tape, those space blankets, and whatever we had on us at the time, because we weren't notified of when we were going to do this. So it was basically the clothes on our back for most of the participants. And we basically made all of our cardboard boxes and houses and castles for some people. Because last year, this participant named Connor, he had his box castle with his flag and cape.
We're good to bring a little joy to something that's there to inspire you to understand what people are going through and the tough times people go through.
Yeah, well, it doesn't perfectly emulate the experience of the poor people or the homeless people, but it gives a better insight, which is very important. And well, I didn't really think about this much after either, so but the meaning behind it I think is very important.
Okay, that's good. And what time did you when did you leave the box village in the morning?
We left in the morning. We went back inside at around 6 o'clock. And then afterwards, it's around 7:30, we all went to Dunkin' Donuts.
That is a good way to finish off an expedition. I agree.
Yes.
That's good.
And is there anything specifically from that experience that you're going to take or any concrete steps after this? Or any of you? Or?
Not spill Dunkin' Donuts after this.
No.
Because right after I spilled my Dunkin' Donuts coffee all over the floor.
Oh, gosh.
It was not fun.
That's not. And see let's talk about your lime green shirts for a bit. The hashtag "You did it for me." That is, Greg. I'm assuming that's a scripture. Whatsoever you did for the least of these, you did it for me. That kind of encapsulates this week.
It's the end of Matthew 25.
Matthew 20.
So
okay, and also the images. There's a water pitcher, cross, two people holding hands, and the balance scales, which Mike might not like this, but another reference to lawyers. So
it's social justice.
So
it's the four pillars:
I figured that.
service,
yes.
spirituality, community, and social justice.
I love it, and thank you for the shirts, Mike and I. That you guys were very generous. And the lime green was seen today earlier at the Wedding of the Sea in Atlantic City. Were you all there? How did it work, Greg? Were a few of you there?
A majority were there. Probably over 40 of us were there, and the color was primarily so that we don't get lost. In a large room,
you were successful.
In a large room, the adults who are accompanying the young people, we could see one another, and we knew where everyone was, and we act as ushers, and people ask questions, and we sort of stood out this year to help in that way. So.
That was a packed house. Probably it was a lot of, and what
almost
were
3,000 people.
Really?
Yeah, if not more. Yeah.
That is. And had any of you been at the Wedding of the Sea before?
I have indeed. This is my. This is my fourth year coming to Summer in the City, so this is my fourth time going. And before coming to Summer in the City, I never even knew that this happened.
Oh, really?
Never knew. And
we're working on that.
Yeah,
this is your fourth Summer in City, right?
Yes.
This is my fourth year as the communications director. I hope you're one of the few people who hadn't heard that from here on out, because we're there live casting today. We're doing Facebook Live. We promoted on the podcast for months ahead of time. We did it with KYW advertising, Facebook advertising. So now everybody must say it.
I personally think that there was more people here this year than I had seen any other year.
That's all me and you, Pete, because of us.
I definitely think so, because usually that top balcony isn't really filled, and it was filled today, and I was like, wow.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. That was great.
And what were your impressions, Juliana? Right?
Yes.
What were your impressions of? Did you stay to see the bishop walk to the boardwalk and get into the?
I actually brought Mother Mary.
The statue?
Blessed Mother. Thank you.
Mother Mary's good too.
I brought her over to the what was it, Kennedy?
Oh, the pavilion.
Yeah, I brought her over there.
Oh, for benediction.
For the benediction.
Yes, I brought her over there. So I didn't end up walking. This is the first time I haven't walked down, because every other year I have.
And how was the benediction?
It was nice.
Were there a lot of people there?
There was, yeah. It was packed. Like, people would come up, like, we were, like, standing there waiting to put her up on, like, the,
stage? Pedestal?
The pedestal.
Sure.
And there was just people coming up, like, can you take a picture? Like, because, like, they couldn't really get to her.
Isn't that kind of cool? Because we don't get to do, like, public Catholic things like that in our daily lives. And here we were in front of everybody, all these tourists who were in town, just going up and down and wondering what the heck these crazy Catholics are doing. But that thrills me. I love seeing moments like that.
Yeah, how we can really evangelize just through our presence and what we're doing. And it's very powerful, especially just there's something about. I always get a chill when I was able to go in with the bishop, and so it just really
You're able
nice.
to go in with the bishop?
No, not in the water, but like it just on the beach with him.
Oh, walking! Yes, it's a great Facebook Live video that you took of getting close, and you only had to knock over 6 or 7 little
exactly
Italian women to get to the bishop.
And I apologize to all of you. But this, so what else has been going on? I understand you've been at a few soup kitchens, and you also. How else has the week been? How have you been filling your days?
So the first day, we were able to go and work with the Arc of Atlantic County, which is a new service site within the last couple of years that we've been able to make these connections with. And it was really awesome. I know my family group that I went with had an amazing, eye-opening experience because just a lot of times we don't put ourselves into places to be with people that are a little bit different than us, and to be able to go and play and do arts and crafts and just talk to these adults that they don't usually get too much social interaction, or people try to cross the street from them or think they're weird, and we just sit with them, and like they're amazing and they're wonderful people, and we just were able to show love and God's love to them and be able to be a witness to them that like people care and people love them. And that's what we're here this week to do, is to be that image of love to the people that we come in contact with.
That's awesome.
Yesterday I had the opportunity to go to the Salvation Army, where there were about maybe 30 to 40 6 to 8-year-olds having like a day camp, and just seeing their smiles on their faces kind of just sealed the deal for me.
Yeah. I can see that. That's pretty awesome.
What did you do with?
Yeah, what did you do with them?
Well, at first we introduced ourselves, and then we sat at a table with them and talked to them for a little bit, and then we played hide and seek, so we were kind of like making sure nobody got hurt, and then they had the kids go and find us, and then we had to go find the kids.
Yeah,
and then the winner got like $1 or something.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Like cold hard cash. That's my kind of game right there. All right.
And after that, we got to throw water balloons at them.
In the rain.
Hey, Pete, you could have gone to that and missed all of them. They've been safe.
That wouldn't have been fun for the kids, though. They wouldn't have gotten away.
I know. That's the best thing, getting hit by a water balloon. Yeah, I agree.
For not hitting them.
Yes.
But I think that, and also Anthony, and I understand there was the adoration last night too. That was very powerful. I think I was talking with Sister Agnes, the CFR local servant, who mentioned that in her 4 years, I think, of being, and that's before she was here, of doing the burning bush, is what they call the adoration. It was the most powerful she's ever experienced. How was it for you?
Well, the first person that ended up experiencing it all kind of started breaking down, and I started to tear up a little bit. And then I looked back to my friends Chip and Tyler, and they were bawling their eyes out, which made it even worse for me.
Wow, that is powerful. Oh my goodness.
Was it your first time doing something like that?
It was actually my third time.
And it's still powerful, even though you've seen it several times. Wow.
Me and Adam Stetzer cry every year
I know Adam. He's a friend of the family. I could see him.
I think we had him on last year.
We did have one last year.
But
Actually, just talking about, relating this to other things, I mean, that's how I feel every time I watch the end of Avengers Endgame. I mean, I cry every single time when the portals open, so I totally get what they're saying.
Spoiler.
If you haven't watched Endgame by this point, it's your own fault. That's what I'm saying.
like spoiler for a 3-month-old movie.
That's right.
But yeah, Anthony, what's so powerful about the Eucharistic adoration to you?
Just experiencing everybody just sharing God's love at one point, like at one time, and then everybody shares their emotions a different way. Some people cry, some people keep it to themselves, and sometimes it touches you a lot and makes you cry as well.
Well, you're all in that moment together, experiencing it in your own way. You're separate in your emotions, but you're kind of the same in the experience, all in that location. And was there? Can any of you chime in about there were testimonials, right? That people who spoke, the sisters or?
The sister spoke. We had a former Summer in the City member speak, Gabby, and then
Gabby Merliano.
I think so, yes.
Okay, she's been on the show before. Wonderful.
Yeah, so she spoke, and then the sisters spoke, and they were talking about the scripture, and then of course Father picked up the Jesus and started walking around with it, and then the first person broke down, and that's when I lost it.
Just listening. I've never had the opportunity to go to one of these, and I'm truly impressed by how much you in particular, but others also were moved by that, because it's funny. It's the kind of thing. Last year when you went, or whenever the first time was that you went, were you expecting to have that sort of powerful reaction? Like, do you typically cry at things?
I do not.
No,
I was not expecting it at all.
Strike me as a crier.
Because I didn't know what was going on at first.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't even know we were going.
Yeah. And then you were like, "What are these emotions?"
No, and then I saw everybody crying, and that was the most I've cried in about maybe 2 or 3 years.
That's powerful, though. I mean, it's important to have moments like that, and when you cry, like when you have an emotional moment like that, that's when it's most honest. It's like it's and not unlike a Marvel movie where you're being manipulated. They want you to cry, they want you to be aghast. That's completely driven by the Holy Spirit working through you and your own reaction to seeing what you're seeing. And I think that's beautiful. I think it's wonderful.
A lot of people say that Burning Bush is one of the favorite events and things that we do during the week. I think just being able to be together this week, it's a service opportunity, but it's also a retreat. Mm-hmm. It's a week-long retreat that people get away from everyday life. They barely supposed to use your cell phones. They leave literally all their friends from like secular world behind, and now they're just in a retreat all week, and having Burning Bush, which has Jesus exposed for an hour, and having music playing and sisters reflections. It's definitely a very great time to self-reflect. Plus you have confessions going on around the room, and it's halfway through the week, so like everyone's gotten comfortable with each other, and it's a lot more time to get to know everyone. So people feel comfortable and they're able to show emotion. And I think that's one of the great things that everyone that comes back is like, when's Burning Bush? Yeah. When's Burning Bush? You'll see. Don't anticipate, participate.
Darn it, Alicia, you just used my next. I was just about to
and
use
she probably
that.
used it better, too.
She did use it better. I have no problems, but I was just about to say that because, Anthony, I'm sorry. Do you want to finish your thought?
You're good. That was it.
Sorry, Alicia. No, but Anthony, when you mentioned that you didn't know it was going to happen, that was something, I'll say it again, as a wise man once told me, don't anticipate, participate. And Greg, is that something you try to do? You kind of you hold back what is going on a bit to maybe let people kind of experience the moment and not really think about. Because sometimes, for me, if I know what's going to happen, it's anxiety. But if you just throw them into it, it's a wonderful kind of, they don't have time to react, so they just live. in the moment?
Yes and no. So most of the time we know what is going to happen in terms of where we're going in terms of service sites and the kinds of activities. We pray morning prayer. We have a reflection each day. We celebrate Mass. We're blessed to be in a house where the Blessed Sacrament is kept. We also had a surprise in terms of we had an experiment in terms of a hunger banquet. So on Tuesday, the director, Matt Davis, the director of Life and Justice, facilitated a hunger banquet with the young people where we simulated meals around the world. So the majority of folks just received rice. Then there was a middle class who received rice and beans, and then there was an upper class who had a full course meal with sparkling water and a server who served the meal.
Okay.
So and that was all done randomly, and it was a lived experience.
I'm curious, for those of you who partook in that meal, what was that like? How many people were, Juliana, were you upper class?
I was not.
Okay.
I was the lowest class. That was the second time. My first year that we did this, I think like 2 years ago at Stockton, and I was the lowest class there. But then I had moved up to the second class, middle class, because somebody and I had switched. But this year I was just like, I'm not even going to try to switch. Like, I'm just going to accept like where I'm at. Like, it happened for a reason. Like, there's no reason, like, not even gonna attempt to like change where I'm at. So I just stayed in the lowest class, and I enjoyed my meal with my friends.
Rice and flat water?
We had no water.
Ooh, rice.
Just rice.
Okay.
And it was dry.
It was dry rice? Okay.
No, it was cooked.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Was anybody here in middle class? No.
Oh, actually, I started in middle class, so I was really excited. But then
They kicked you out? What?
Yeah.
Oh.
My father, in the whole story, he lost his farm to natural causes, so that bumped me and my siblings down to Juliana's level, and so we joined her on the floor.
And that too. So lower classes, you're eating on the floor, not on the table. Wow.
All we got was like, well, at first all we had was like scraps of like paper towels and like a crunched up cup, but then they threw us like styrofoam cups. And it was like, people were like heathens. It was crazy.
Wow. Okay, so we're lower class, middle to lower class.
Yes.
And then everybody else here hit upper class?
Actually, no one here was in the upper class.
Oh, wow. So where were you at?
I was in the lower class.
Okay. How did you feel?
I was one of those heathens that went for that rice.
So then everybody here was lower class? Okay. That's
Yes.
Oh, Juliana, I really feel for you. It's like, this is a rough... And fourth year, huh? You keep coming back. It's like you are a glutton for punishment. I like that. But that does sound really cool, and I'll have to talk to Matt Davis about that sometime, because I've never participated in an event like that. But I really like that conceptually. What else? What else has been going on this week? Nothing else? Well, that's true. We also still have another 36 hours to go, right? Yeah. Okay. But can anyone tell me about the Kairos Center itself? This is only the second year you've been here, or this is the first year? First year. How does this compare to where you were staying before, Juliana?
It's about 500 times better.
Okay.
We have actual beds.
Wow.
Which is nice. Mm-hmm. But even sleeping on the air mattresses or in the classrooms, it wasn't bad. But it's nice to have a bed.
That is true.
But I did like sleeping in the classrooms a little bit better, because it was like you were with a bunch of people. And even when we would all hang out, like we would all be in the cafeteria hanging out, like nobody would be separated. Mm-hmm. So it was, I think I kind of like being in the school better.
Okay.
How was the wake up? Because I remember going on these high school retreats, and they'd wake up with like music, or like you bang a drum, or.
Well, this morning I woke up to Adam Stetzer at the foot of my bed playing the USSR theme song, and he had the extreme version, so it was like you can barely hear it. All you hear is.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, usually Adam Setzer walks through the halls blasting music and not banging on doors, especially if you're sleeping with the door locked.
I mean, one day we woke up to bagpipes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yesterday we woke up to Barney.
Oh yeah, we woke up to Barney one day.
Painful.
I wouldn't wake up to Barney. That'd be nightmare.
I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm sorry, dude. I'll pray for you. That Barney, man.
What
I was
time
scared
is,
even watching the show when I was younger.
what time is wake up?
6:45.
Oh, that's not terrible, right?
What time do we go to bed though?
11. Or after 11.
For me, it's more like
fall asleep.
it's like 3 a.m. But
Okay.
sorry, Greg.
I feel you. I'm a night out too.
I'm in my room. It's all good.
I believe it.
Do you have any comments or concerns?
So, Greg, how much fun is it working with all these wonderful young adults?
It is actually quite. It gives me hope for the church. the church is alive, and people are putting flesh and bone. And so this is my favorite week of the year. I have the best job working for the diocese. I get to meet some of the coolest people, coolest, most generous people. And when I hear negative things about young people, I have to say no. I can name many young
47
people.
maybe.
Yeah, 47 young people who give of themselves for a week.
46. I forgot about Juliana.
Juliana is quite extraordinary. So they are wonderful.
I think. Sorry. I think another cool thing is you see families come through here. So you have people that come here like 6-7 years ago and they started as a freshman, and now you have the youngest sibling in here, or like Jewel had brothers here. So like to see the amount of different families that like, okay, maybe they came here not knowing what to expect, but it impacted them so much that now every member of their family has come through the program. And it's really awesome to see how like I'll come a year and I won't know the person, but I'll recognize that last name and be like, oh wow, like this is another part of the family. So it's just awesome to see like how this impacts one person, and now that family is coming through, and it's really awesome to see that.
And Greg, what is the age range for participants?
Participants have to be in high school in this 2019.
Okay.
So we have people who are rising freshmen to rising who just graduated from high school. Yeah.
Okay.
So 9th to 12th grade.
Okay. So I have another 3 years before I send my son down. Got it.
And we also have a great team of alumni and adults who give a week of service to make the young people. Make it possible for the young people to do service around the diocese, and so one of the great things are the young adults who have been alumni who come back and give of their time.
So for any of the high schoolers here, who would want to come back as an alumni to give time?
I'm planning next year on coming back as an alumni.
Excellent.
As am I.
Does that mean you don't have to do the camp out or be in the...
That means no lights out. Ever.
Okay, how about Mary? You planning on coming back as a...
Oh, yeah, I would love to come back.
I know you have a few more years of high school to go, right?
Actually, well, I am a senior, but
okay.
So I would be able to do one more year as a participant. But especially coming in to like the whole family community that we were describing, I was really nervous because I didn't know anyone. And then when I got here, I realized no one from Camden Catholic was here. So then I was just like super anxious, and everyone knew each other, and there's returning families. And I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be awful. Like, I'm not going to meet anyone. And friends are already predetermined. But that turned out not to be the case. Everyone was welcoming, and gosh, like 2-3 days into it, I'm like joking and laughing with people as if I've known them for years. And doing different events, going to the work sites, like you feel like you are a part of the community. They opened up right away, and I was like, oh wow, here I am, a senior joining so late in the game. But it's been really, really great.
That's great to hear.
I think a good thing is, like Mary and I were talking about earlier, there's families in here, so like everyone that comes in here is assigned like a number, and we're in a group for that week. So usually we'll go to each work site with our family members, which consists of like maybe like 5 to 8 participants and a young adult or an adult or both, and that's who you're with the whole week. So you're never alone. You always know that you have someone to talk to. You always know that you have more opportunity to get closer, and it kind of limits the clicking up of people that already know each other, because you only have a certain amount of free time. Other time you're with your family, so it's awesome. Especially Greg does such a great job, Jose too, and
you don't have to compliment him. He's not on mic.
Oh yeah, we didn't have Jose Rodriguez is here. Just he's
lurking.
silent.
Just
he's lurking.
Yes.
You don't want to say anything, Jose?
No. Don't give him a mic. He'll start talking. It's fine.
But they make the families with people that they don't go to the same parish, aren't in the same school, are not related to each other. So you really have to have the opportunity. You have the opportunity to actually get to know other people, and you're not just shying away to people that you already know coming in. Even with the roommate assignments, no one that knew each other or were good friends or siblings roomed together, and that gave you an opportunity to get to know other people. So it was really awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And that's based on the principles of Catholic social teaching, so social justice, in the sense of the call to family, community, and participation. So we're intentional about the principles of Catholic thought, and so the call to family is an important piece. And we don't get to choose our family. You know that God gifts us the people that are in our family, and so that's one of the hallmarks of the program, is to implement different aspects of Catholic social teaching. Some are easier than others. Like right now, because we don't have a strong working kitchen here, we could really do a better job at caring for God's creation a little bit better by recycling, but it's very difficult. Like, we have to use disposable paper products things like that. But next year, yeah, I hope. But from the get-go, we start with the dignity of the human person, and that's sort of how we approach the week. So,
okay. Well, as we're starting to wrap up, does anyone have any final thoughts or questions or rants? Juliana, anything you want to tear into while Greg's here?
I'm good.
Okay. Pete, do you have any final questions?
Yeah, I mean, or takeaways. Can some of you, maybe all of you, or at least one, just what is one takeaway you have that you believe you will have from this experience when you go home?
Juliana, you picked up a mic.
Greg was holding it in my face. I just didn't know how to act.
One takeaway.
Can you repeat that one more time? One
takeaway from this experience that you think you'll have when you leave here and you go home. How are you going to serve your community?
Okay. Probably doing the hunger banquet that we did, it really opened my eyes to see like how people are actually treated because of how we were treating each other during that banquet. Definitely not to like waste food, because there's someone out there who doesn't even have the opportunity to get as much as we do, and we don't. Like people say, our eyes are bigger than our stomachs. We'll get so much food and we won't eat half of it. We got to eat. Like, they just throw that out when somebody else would be like love to have that kind of food. Mm-hmm. So it definitely that.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing to take away. Be careful though. I believe in that, which is why I am 100 pounds overweight. But so just be careful about it. But it's true though. Don't throw away. I mean, we don't throw away anything in my house, and I know at some point I'm going to get a disease because of that, because we're way past its due date. But it's true. I mean, it's a good thing to keep in mind. Oh gosh. All right. What? Why do you? What?
No, just your due date. I'm just thinking. I'm gonna hear you've got like a really bad, like you're gonna be out for a week or something. Like,
oh God, your mouth at God's ears. I could use a week vacation. But anyway, well, thank you all. Hey man, I don't take vacations. I relish getting the flu because that means that's 24 hours where nobody can bother me. I'm just gonna lay in bed. Jose, you're not even in this interview.
Yeah,
Get out here.
Can we call Jose the bouncer at the door? That's what you think.
Sure, we're going to fire him, though, because a lot of people went by. Well, thank you all very much for sitting with us. I know you guys have dinner to go to and some events this evening to take part in, but thank you very much for sitting with us, and thank you for the gift of the shirts, Greg. And I hope you have a great last day here, and for everyone coming back in future years, thank you for giving your service, but also thank you for giving your service to the community in South Jersey during this week. So thank you very much.
Thank you for coming here.
Oh, no.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. That's very nice.
Thank you.
All righty. And thanks, everybody, for listening.